Good afternoon. This is TTT Live, Chalk City 91.1 FM and TTT Live Online on Facebook. I'm DK Rosner with your TTT News Update. The Elections and Boundaries Commission said in a statement on Wednesday that there is no law to mandate the wearing of masks when voting during the COVID-19 pandemic. The statement said that Chief Elections Officer Fern Narcissus Scope and health officials collaborated to set up and try out a mock polling station ahead of the August 10 general election. The EBC said the Chief Election Officer is reminding that whilst there has been a general policy acceptance of the use of masks in TNT, it is still not law. The statement said the mock polling station simulation exercise was done to assess its level of preparedness for the upcoming parliamentary elections, which will be conducted under COVID-19 guidelines. The simulation was an interactive exercise with the 41 returning officers and officials from the Ministry of Health under the Principal Medical Officer Epidemiology. All suggestions arising from this exercise will be incorporated into a policy document to be compiled by the Ministry for the Conduct of Elections under COVID-19. The Office of the Chief Personnel Officer is embarking on a job evaluation and compensation exercise for officers in the civil service, including the Tobago House of Assembly and statutory authorities. This after Cabinet approval was granted. PricewaterhouseCoopers was selected through open tender to provide consultancy services for the exercise. It is expected to start this month and to extend over a period of 2 years. The aim of the project is to create a modern job evaluation and compensation system in the civil service that will be administered using technology. The system will stress equity for workers with appropriate compensation and will deal with anomalies that may currently exist. The cost of the initiative for both Trinidad and Tobago is just over $24,874,000 TT dollars. And in this conversation, Arion Stafford is the managing director of Music 56 Productions, an audio and video production company specializing in advertising artistic content. Now, recently, he has found himself in front of the microphone with a podcast called First Steps. We find out more from him now. Hello, Arion. Good afternoon. Thank you for being a part of it. I want to ask, how has the pandemic changed your work schedule?
Well, thanks for having me, DK. Good afternoon to yourself and viewers. The pandemic actually kind of forced me to adjust a lot in terms of how I operate. Started working from home. I still have my office in Port of Spain, but I'm currently at home right now. And that actually stimulated some ideas, and based on the fact that there was time. So having to adjust to the new, the then new normal, it opened up for me some other avenues to explore in terms of, getting my creative expression out and still trying to satisfy the demands the limited demands by my clients within that time.
So one of the ways that your artistic expression is coming out now is First Steps. So take me to the process of saying, okay, well, this is an idea, to saying that, okay, well, this is something that people can actually tune into and take in.
Right. What happened with First Step was actually, I always actually was inspired by people having a story to tell. I love stories. I mean, I don't consider myself a fabulous storyteller, but I'm always keen to hear people's steps or what they did to get them to realize their dreams or whatever. And it has always been something that was playing in my mind. Probably I should, reach out to individuals who I think have done a certain, or who have achieved a certain level of success in whatever field they endeavor. And again, the pandemic offered a certain luxury, which was time, for me to be able to execute. One, me having the time, as well as most of the other guests as well, also being able to, spare some time now to share their steps.
But
so
who
it's
comes
essentially
in?
just a platform that I saw it fit to let people inspire others. People who may be thinking, who may be vacillating and needing a little extra oomph, a little kick to get them to take action. So that's essentially what the First Step program is about.
And on the topic of inspiration, who comes up with the topics and the guests? And I say that looking at some of the some of the topics that you've had, things in terms of like using your internal compass to your calling, leveraging your network while staying true to, while improving self, remaining open to life's currents, which lead to your success, and allowing the flow of life to steer you to your destiny. And that's even before we talk about some of the actual guests. But who comes up with those topics?
You wouldn't believe, DK, the topics are done post. So I try to make the program very organic. So it's literally me having a conversation with these guests who, within the course of the conversation, then share, they may say something that I find very insightful, or the direction or the flow of the conversation kind of leads me or or inspires me to say, oh, this is kind of where the whole theme of the conversation was. So it wasn't really, it's not necessarily something that is pre-planned. What I really try to pull out of them is what they did do. So, and within doing that, they then bring out the topics, essentially. So
and who are some of the guests that you've had thus far?
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of the guests that you've had thus far, though, Arion?
Sorry?
Who are some of the guests? Some of the people who are featured on those podcasts?
We had people in the industry, such as, well, it would range from entertainment to economics to the arts. We had Conrad Paris, who is a radio host and an actor. We had Terry Lyons, the reigning Calypso monarch. We had Richard Trumpet. We had Ken Simmons. We had Jerome Chambers, who is an individual in what you call it, forensics, risk analysis. And so it ranges, honestly, it just ranges from it's not necessarily centered around any particular industry.
And with that in mind, how do people tune in or get a copy, be able to view the podcast? That's one. And I'm also asking, what do you plan to do with it? What was the hope moving forward?
Right. That's a good question. But the second question is a really good question, DK, because honestly, this has been something that I thought necessary to get out, just generally get out. So I had no intentions of it, taking it beyond me getting this information out of these people, which I deemed necessary for people to hear and inspire. So it really is, I don't know where it would lead, but as long as people continue to share or to make themselves available, I would continue doing it. And wherever it leads, I would go along with the ride. The platform right now is on YouTube. I record the sessions. Again, the COVID allowed us to utilize technology that we probably weren't engaging with before. So I record using Zoom, and then I upload it onto YouTube. And the other move from that would be to upload it into podcast platforms such as Apple, Spotify, and whatnot.
But you still didn't tell us, wonder what name, what was the channel that we can get it on?
Oh, the channel actually would be my name, Arion, Arion Stafford, Stafford. So it's under my YouTube channel. So you could search Arion Stafford on YouTube and you'd find the whole range of podcasts there.
All right, so we're looking out for that. But we have about 30 seconds more. How does it feel to be in front of the mic, in front of the camera, as opposed to being behind it?
Yeah, well, DK, we have worked together a few times in the past, DK, and I am a behind-the-scenes guy. It is very, very new to me, and I marvel at the professionals as yourself who have trained for this, because I definitely haven't. So it's really rough around the edges for me. Initially, it was a little, I had a little apprehension, but now it seems a little more natural because most of the guests, I'm familiar with them, or the conversation starts to get, kind of natural. So it's
so Malcolm X says that his only credential is sincerity. So we give thanks for that, and you having the conversations that you're having. And that is Arion Stafford of First Steps, the podcast. You can see it on YouTube. And remember, you can join us for live coverage on TTT, Talk City 91.1 FM, Sweet 100.1 FM, Next 99.1 FM, as well as on Facebook at TTT Live Online for all your updates. Thank you for joining us on behalf of the TTT crew. I'm DK Rostar. Bye for now.